Thank you.
Just one thing. I am Mary's mother. I was in 1961, when he was 1 year old, I was a teacher at Rockwell Elementary School. And I am very proud of that. So when he was a baby, he already had a mother who was a teacher in the Miami Public School. And let me tell you, maybe some of you could have been my pupils, because I had children that were the Peter Pan. That's all I got.
Well, I grew in Bogota. I went to Los Portales, all-girl Catholic school, very, very Catholic, very, very girls. Men weren't even allowed in school property. So yes, Portales, La Candelaria, and then I went to, my elementary school was Eastwood Elementary School. Middle school was Indian Creek Middle School, and I graduated from Winter Springs High School. Very proud to. And after that, I went to Bogota. I was attending my family business. I had to work. So I continued my studies there in Universidad Externada de Colombia. And then after that, I transferred to FIU, and I am finishing all the careers that I have. So. Why not the one over there talking? No? Thank you.
Have your hand up.
We talked a lot about, and I've got children, three children that have gone through the public schools. The public school system, I am part of. So I'm a mother of three, and two of them in college right now. We talk a lot about the budget, and we've always talked a lot about the money coming from Tallahassee and what we can do with it. And everything is money, the money, the money, the money going into the public schools. And that's fine. We need money in order to get the programs done and put the programs together. And we've talked about the FCAT and what the positives of the FCAT are and what the negatives are. And that's fine. And is this still it?
Yes.
Okay. And you spoke a lot about in your speech a little while ago, a lot about world this and world that. I personally, and I don't mean to defend you, but I don't care about the world. I care about the U.S. and what happens here and our teaching and our studies here in the United States. And I wanted to find out, why is it that, and I've been involved in the PTA, and I've been involved in my children's studies, and I've noticed one thing, that we teach social studies and history, but we don't go back to the Constitution. We don't teach how to how this country got started. We're all here as immigrants. I'm Cuban American, very small. And we've gotten away from all that, and it's just gotten so politicized. And I understand politics, believe me, but we need to get back to teaching. We have to teach it all, but part of what makes this country great is how we founded it. And the founders and the Constitution has been obliterated by all this political mumbo jumbo that personally I don't care about. I want my children to know. I taught them the Constitution. I taught them the founders and how we got this country started, because they weren't learning it in school. And I want to know from each of you, who of you is going to go back in there when I put my vote in that machine and go there and push the school board of Miami-Dade County to go back to at least, we've got October, Hispanic month, we've got February, Black American month, but we don't have a constitutional week or study. And I know there's a law that says we must teach the Constitution for a specific amount of time during the school year. There is nothing like that. We need to do that. And I want to know.
Good. Ask me a question. Before we start the answers, I just wanted to recognize former school board member Frank Pogo, who was the school board member for this district. Who's also responsible for all of the donuts that you see here today. Thank you, Frank.
I want to say something really quick.
although all these people support teachers and they all say really nice things, it's also being said in a kind of a condescending way. Like, you're a teacher and that's good, you're a great teacher in the classroom. But everything that a person does when they're successful, they learn from a teacher. So my point is that whatever you think I'm great at, I can apply it at a larger scale, which means all over District 7 and the county of Miami. Now, as for the Constitution, well, let me explain to you. Because I refuse to teach FCAT teaching strategies, I teach literature, and I teach critical thinking skills. And therefore, I don't believe in following the sheep. I believe that we need to teach our children to be individual and to think on their own. And everyone who steps into my classroom knows something about the Constitution. And I'm an English teacher. My point is that all of us need to stop as teachers and stop teaching FCAT, and start teaching everything, cross-curricular, but we can't, because the school board makes policies that force FCAT strategy, FCAT teaching, FCAT down our throats. And as school board member, because I'm the only one in this room who has experience knowing what goes on in the classroom, then I can make sure that it will never happen anymore. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, and I cannot agree with you more. And as a matter of fact, some people may have heard you already. This past session, the state legislature supported mandatory civics and geometry courses for the first time for graduation. So children now have to take civics, which is Constitution and government, and geometry as well. So for the first time, we will have that requirement. And it's so important, especially like you mentioned, in a community like this one. You know, there are a lot of people throughout the country that are very nervous about America losing its national identity. Some of them are a bit unfair in the way they express themselves, but I certainly understand where they're coming from. With so many immigrants in this country, it's very important. It's easy to lose that sense of national identity and to forget what brings us together and make this country great. So I agree with you, and I think that hopefully as a result of these new measures, which by the way I would support even stronger measures here in Miami-Dade County, the next time we have a meeting like this, even more people will come, and not, you know, half the people here we invited. Maybe hundreds of people will come. This was in the newspaper, it was advertised, and yet we probably only have 30 or 40 people here that came because they actually wanted to, they were undecided and they wanted to listen to the candidates. So I completely agree with you.
Let me interject one more thing, and I just wanted you to know that the atmosphere is such, and I speak personally for myself, not for everyone here, that whatever is promised and whatever is said, I will make sure that I follow up, and I will make sure that you follow what you
You should. It hasn't been that way in many years.
Well, I do have to agree with the two previous candidates that part of it, the problem is so much emphasis on the FCAT that does not allow enough time in the school year to teach very important subjects that will not only prepare our students to be citizens, but to appreciate how this country came to be and how most of us even came to this country. And yes, the legislature did pass in the last session for civics to be a requirement, but I think that that needs to be expanded at the elementary, middle, and high school level. Because high school will continue. We have to instill in our children a sense of pride, a sense of belonging, and a sense of where we came from. So yes, and I will make it very important for me to follow up on that, and thank you for that suggestion.